Hi, I'm Cash, and welcome back to Cash Talks Football, where we break down all the goals scored in the Premier League. And today we're doing Liverpool against Manchester United. And who could have predicted a draw in this one? Everyone thought Liverpool was going to smash United. Well, I didn't. Never happens. I mean, there was a 7-0 once upon a time, but generally these games are kind of always sort of like built up to be something, and they never are that. The amount of times I've gone to a Liverpool United game and someone said, come, it's going to be best, it's brilliant, and it's just a draw, it's a 0-0. This was a little bit basketball-y at some point, but other than that, it was very sort of, both teams were poor, to be fair. I mean, the standard of passing was just poor, the standard of just lots of things was poor, and the finishing was poor as well. We're going to talk about a little bit about this because from what I was watching, Trent always seems like he's out the door. Like, genuinely, I know he has some funny games, but he hasn't lately. Like, I'd say for the last almost year, he's been very consistent and solid. He just seems out to lunch. And I'm going to show you a little clip here. This is Rasmus getting in behind, puts it straight at the keeper. We're not really going to dwell on that chance at all. I think he could have done better. He should have done better, to be honest, in a 1v1 situation there. But he is against one of the best goalkeepers in the world, in my opinion. Alisson, been in the top 3 for a very long time. I think he's fantastic. But I'm going to show you this from Trent. This is what I'm talking about right here. Look how far. Like, there's the Liverpool back line. Oh, I know I've done a little bit of a curve there, giving a bit of disservice. It's because I can't draw exactly straight on this. Look how far he is playing everybody onside, just because he can't get back up in time. There's a couple of other problems that goes on in this game. But, I mean, he gives the ball away too much. I don't know. It might just be one of those days, but the problem is this. It's because of all the Real Madrid speculation, that's immediately what you go to. It might just be a bad day at the office, which is fair. But because of all the other speculation, now here's the other weird part about it. I was thinking about it as the game went on. What would I do, right? If I'm coaching Trent, would I pull him off and put the other kiddie, I think it's Connor someone or other on? Would I do that? But then you start realising, well, if you're at the club, you might not be able to do that. Because just think if he's really not going to Real Madrid and the club's still in negotiations with him and you've just humiliated him and you've just pulled him off, right, because he's having a stinker of a game. Now he's definitely going to Real Madrid. Do you see? So you're in a situation which is very sort of like, little eggshells, and you're walking on eggshells until you find out what he's actually doing in his decision he's making. Because you, as a manager, could force his decision by just pulling him off the field. So it's very, very sort of weird, that whole sort of dynamic that's going on at Liverpool. And I think they need to clear it up because he's having a nightmare we'll see what he does next week. I think it's Wednesday they play the Spursy, so we'll have a look on Wednesday and see if he keeps on the same sort of reign of form. But you can see how far he's playing everybody on side, just not getting up. And Liverpool do like to get up really early, so the fact he's not doing that is his mind somewhere else. But let's move it on to the goals. So this is where it all starts. Trent tries to clear the ball. He doesn't do a good job and gives it straight back to United. As you can see, United already kind of have an overload on this side. And this is where the ball ends up coming back. Now, it's interesting when you're at when I say it, you'll know exactly what I mean, is the minute you lose the ball, you've got about 4 to 6 seconds to try to win that ball back. If you lose it, you're the one that you better get the ball back. So you're thinking, yeah, that's kind of normal. Yeah, that's nothing new. Everyone's heard that before. Trent's never heard that, because watch his reaction when this ball comes back towards him here, okay? He gets the ball, knocks it up the field, loses the ball here, and you're thinking, right, okay, how quick can Liverpool win the ball back? They're not really badly out of shape. They've got a covering player coming over here. Yeah, he's still kind of involved. Yeah, that's not bad. That gap is still there, though. They're still exposing Trent over here. And this is the worrying part here for Liverpool fans. If you've got 3 Man United players, one's got the ball, and you've got one out wide, and you've only really got one person that can put pressure on the ball. Now, Trent is trying to get back in to get his shape back together. 1, 2, kind of a gap, as we can see. 3, even though he's a little bit too far forward for my liking, I'd want him there. And the reason I'd want him there is because his body shape would be better. If you look at him, he's on the half turn facing that way. That's so important. If you do the little things right and you're facing that way, all the other things come easy. As you can see, Trent's facing this way. There's no real energy or effort to try to shut the ball down, except for this little wee chappy here. Slowly sort of shutting that gap off. And now this is the point where you can try to win the ball back, okay? So you've lost it. You're the one that's got to win the ball back. As soon as this pass moves over here, you know that gap that you left is now covered because you watched the player jog towards you. If that ball goes to there, you go there like lightning and try to win it back. Let's watch the reaction, shall we? As the ball goes, boff, he stands still and stood there. It's like, all right, mate, you can have it. Like, think about that. You're going to give someone, like, honestly, he's one of the, I hate Bruno Fernandes. I think he's an awful, awful human being. But it's a footballer. He's got a bit of talent. And you don't want him out there on the wing with the ball and you're just stood there watching him. He's laughing. He's like, oh my God, right, what am I going to do? He's not even coming towards me. Like, that is the time you close. And the reason it's the time you close is because the time the ball has to travel gives you extra time to run and close the player down and try to make him make a decision. Hopefully he makes a mistake. Maybe you can pressure his first touch, but you get on him and you don't stand there and watch him like this clown's doing. That's why I think he's got 1 foot already in the Real Madrid camp. To me, he's like, his mind's somewhere else. I can't be bothered. Now, if you're a Liverpool guy or you're a Man United guy, you're going to go, yeah, well, this is a rivalry. And I can't believe someone else from the other team just stood there and let my team have the ball that easily without doing anything. So gives him the opportunity to move inside with the ball. I mean, it's all very, very casual from Liverpool. Very, very casual. Look, it's just jogging. He hasn't run past him. He's walked past him. This is walking football pace. And Trent still hasn't tried to nick the ball off him. And he's in the perfect opportunity now because he has 2 players covering on him now. And if he pokes the ball there, well, off he goes. Mo Salah's gone. Doesn't even try. There's no sort of change of pace or tempo from Trent. Just lets him have it. Just lets him walk away with the ball. Look. You got Mo Salah coming back now going, oh, well, if you're... Guys, one of you's got to try to tackle. One of you's got to try to do a thing. And I want to watch this United goal as well because it's very, very similar to the Liverpool goal. And if you know anything about football, you see these things, these patterns repeat quite often, especially in games where one team scores a goal, the other team scores a very, very similar goal. So here's the other thing, is that Liverpool line has dropped off just a little bit because of the player there, Rasmus Højlund, pushing them back ever so slightly, which opens up just that tiny bit of space there, which he's going to exploit. Now here's the problem. When the pressure finally does come, it's a pass into the middle of the field. If the pressure came over here, the pass would be in towards the middle of the field, but it's almost away from the goal. Does that make sense? Where this is like straight at the goal. That's the point where you wanted to make the pressure over here, and you don't wait until it's in the middle of the field to do that because he just passes it straight into the space. And then this is one of those shots where you just smash it and hope for the best. And he's done a good job smashing it and hoping for the best. In he goes. Gets himself a goal. Let's move it on. Actually, before we do, I want to show you that little bit, that pocket I was showing you, just so you can see it a little bit more for yourself and see, look, those Liverpool defenders could have got up. They could have made a difference, but they would just seem to be like when your team's like this staggered, they're not on the same page. That means something's not quite right. Yeah, Liverpool got some issues. So here's Liverpool bringing their first, their equalising goal, and it's interesting because let's just say I can't remember who scored for United. He shot from about there and he roofed it into the top of the net. Actually, he picked the ball up about there, drove it in, and then roofed it into the net. It's very similar to this Liverpool goal, the way the shot's taken as well. But we're going to look at the Man United shape a little bit, all right? Because they were a little bit better today, and I think that's just purely down to the midfield. They've got 2 people that can run around and not 2 old age pensioners in the middle, which makes a massive difference. But I don't know what's going on there. And this is the problem when you're playing with a weird system and you're not used to it. You can make these runs out on the blind sides, behind people very, very easily because no one's quite sure of their roles and responsibilities. As you can see, we're marking here, everyone's good. And as soon as there's a little bit of movement from the outside, we've got 2 people pressuring the ball. We've got 1 person pressuring really from the wrong side, but at least he's getting there, unlike Trent. And the ball's coming just straight through everybody. You see that? It's just straight through. It's cut all the way through. And with so many people back, that shouldn't be happening. And that just comes down to the 2 players here from United, not quite sure who's picking up who and what's going on where. That's all it is. You can say, okay, they might get better with the system goes on. Yeah, they probably will, but they're also probably the wrong players for playing for Manchester United. This is they're overcommitting. He's just getting completely done here. Remember, he's facing this way, so he's got his back to the challenge. He's not actually trying to defend the ball correctly in any way, shape or form. He's diving in. This is just shocking defending. He's running past the point. He knows what's going to happen at any second. All he's got to do is do a cutback and you're done. And what foot does he want to do it on? He wants to cut back on his right foot anyway. So you know he wants to be doing that. So why are you charging in like a clown and all of a sudden, doof, you're off? I'm surprised he didn't actually hurt himself doing that as well as how he sort of skidded into the ground. There's those injuries, when you hit your knee and it sticks into the ground and you end up pulling a muscle. But it's a very similar strike where he just roofs it straight into the top of the net box. Bosh. There we go. gets a goal. Keeper's got no chance, just like the other, the one down the other end. Let's move it on. Before we do that, I'm just going to show you a little bit of this United back for 15 or whatever they play. See those two? That's the little separation that you're looking for there. But that's the gap that he's got in behind. That's the little pocket of space he's created just because you've got two players there that aren't quite sure who's going to the ball. Is it the midfielder? Is it one of us? And that's where he's managed to sneak in behind. That's just, honestly, it's not knowing the system, really. I mean, that's just really not, it's not really good enough at this level. It's just not. Here we are. We're picking up for the cross for the penalty. Yeah, it's a penalty. It's a handball. You can't be waving at your mum in the crowd and then the ball hit you when up here in the hand and you go, oh, it's not a pen. Yeah, it's a penalty, mate. It's a penalty. But I'm really disappointed how easy Trent just beats his man out here and just like little divvy, little disguise on the cross, and he's just done. Legs up in the air. I mean, that's okay when you're 11 or 12, but you shouldn't be getting done at this level like that. It's just, you just shouldn't be. You can see he's not crossing it. You see he's cutting back in on his foot. And even if he's not, you're not putting yourself body shape out so high up in the air. When your feet are up in the air, you can't turn because your feet are in the air. And he does that anyway. And he puts in an awful cross really for his left foot because he's got some quality. Trent does. He can do better than this. Actually, before I move it on, I'm quite shocked. You can see that pass there. That's where I'm shocked he doesn't pass it. Yeah, because he's got the ability, and you can see, I think that's, is that Jota looking for it right there? I don't know who that is, to be honest. Looking for it right down there. Now, that would be him. But that's what he's got in his locker. That's what he's capable of doing. Now, when this cross comes in, Trent's dropping it in. Now, there's a couple of things that you want to think about with a handball, right? And I hate this phrase. Is it in an unnatural position? Well, everything's natural depending on what argument you want to make. My lawyer degree's coming out of me now. Right, so here's the point. Is it natural to what, a footballer? Is that the thing? Because it's natural to a basketballer to have your hands up here. It's natural for a goalkeeper to have his hands up here. So it's a natural position for a goalkeeper. Is that not a natural position? So that's why I hate sort of those weird phrasings, because they're just rubbish. Because someone like me will come along and give you an argument that you can't sort of actually sort of justify, because it's not this rubbish that they're saying. This is how you want to look at it. Does it change the flight of the ball? That's what you really want to like. Is it on target? Does it change the flight of the ball? That's really what you want to think about. That's it. Is it shot on target? Yeah. Does it change the flight of the ball? Yeah. Then you can go on to did the attacking team get an advantage, or the defending team, or stuff like that. But they're the first sort of two main criteria. And if you stick to that, you'll have a good idea of handball, especially in and around the box. Sorry, this made me laugh. You just got to look at Delight's face. He knows. He's like, yeah, it's definitely a handball. Please don't look at it back. He knows. He knew straight away. But yeah, I want to show you the header though, because I think the header was actually on target anyway. So this is what we're looking at. This is where the ball's coming in. Clearly looking for a header. Is it going to sneak inside this post here? That's what we want to look for. Right, as this has gone. Yeah, look, you can see it's probably made contact about there. Let's see if we can. There's his arm. It's made contact about there. That's probably going in, isn't it? That's about where the ball is. So yeah, it's a penalty. It's not a good penalty though. So when you watch this, I want to see if you see what I see, right? Mo Salah's putting the ball in here. It almost looks like Onana's saved the ball, but somehow hasn't. Just watch this, okay, as I play this forward. It looks like, for some reason, he just doesn't save it. And I know it's the, how fast it goes and all blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I know I've been coaching for way too long. I understand all of this, but just watch. Watch. Do you see what I mean? It looks like it's almost gone underneath his hands. Is that strange or what? This is the closest frame I could get to it, really. And I just don't think he puts his arm out properly. This arm here, I think it goes in that sort of space there. If you see, if he had both his arms out straight, he's probably saving it. But he hasn't. He's got his arm, like, that one's tucked down inside here, and that one's down there. Like, it's strange. It's really strange to me how he doesn't save it. Because to me, it looks like he's going to, because it's not a great penalty. It's not fired into the corner. Look, it's about there. You see? Look, let's go into the spot. Ooh, oh my God, I drew a straight line. Look at that. Amazing. Right, yeah, so it's not into the corner here. So you can see he could probably have got that. He just hasn't extended his hands for some reason. Maybe he's just a bad goalkeeper. So as we can see, Trent's off over here playing, I don't know, for Real Madrid, because he ain't Liverpool at the moment. And Konate's coming over. I think this guy's just come back from injury as well. I don't expect him to be at 100%, which is one of those weird things where he should be at 100% because he's playing football. Like, it's so strange. Everyone gives people a pass I don't. He should still stop this coming in. He should still get there and do his job properly. He doesn't. And these are the key things we want to look at. Right, look at the space differential between these two here. And also look at this. Andy Robinson is too busy fighting with this little kiddie than actually defending. It's one of those things at Liverpool. I think some of their trusted left and right backs that won them Champions League and Premier Leagues are coming to the end of their top level of play, if that makes sense. And a lot of it is it's mental, okay? So when you're doing something, I don't care what it is, if you listen to, I play a video game, Dota 2, and you listen to the professional gamers in Dota 2, and all they do is play Dota 2, they're mentally burnt out, they're done, and they're just tired, and they want a year or two off because they just are done, and they can't keep going. And it's the same in football. You've been doing it day in, day out, week in, week out, highest level, and you don't realise that your levels have dropped, and you're just a bit casual marking here, and you're just a bit lazy defending. Look, that's not good enough. Got to be tight there. Look, you can see when he tries to go, he ends up shooting it through his legs. But look at that little bit of separation now, because he's just pushed him. Now he's not marking him. Do we see the difference? Now he's not marking him. And I'll tell you why. Look, if you actually look at what Robinson's thinking, thinking it's going to this kiddie here. He thinks it's going into that area there, and he's trying to do Van Dijk's job. Look at what he's doing. Do you see him? Do you see him moving? Yeah, yeah. And he's forgot completely and utterly about his player. That 1 second ago he was touch tight with, pushing and shoving, but now he's probably 3 yards away, and he just gets a touch on it. It's not a good touch. It's not a great finish, but it goes in the goal, and that's all that counts. It slow rolls in, and that's all this kiddie's got to do, is touch the football and push it in the right direction of the goal, and that's what he does. So this ball comes in, just touches it ever so slowly, rolls it in, and Andy Robinson knows he should have done better than that if he wants to be classed as a quality left-back at this day and age. One of the things people do as well, when they do it like at United and everywhere else, is they go, oh, Casemiro or Christian Eriksen, they're bad football players. They were great 5 years ago. Robinson, he's not a great left-back. He was great and world-class 5 years ago. And you can't keep that reputation of what they once were and think that they're still doing that now. You have to judge them on a game-by-game basis. And remember, you're only as good as your last game. Trent had a stinker. Robinson let one in on that side. Liverpool, you could have gone really far clear on the champion or a title league runny thing that you're into. Other than that, I'll see you next time on Cash Talks Football.